Good evening, y'all. What's up? We are here for money, mindset, and lifestyle. And I am honored that I have the amazing Kenda Newman, project manager. And she is also a retreat expert. And she is going to talk to us tonight about leveraging your existing skill set so that you can generate more income. And this is exciting to me because as a money coach, we need money, right? Like we
Yeah,
need money to be able,
absolutely.
yeah, to do more of the things that we enjoy. And I talk about that play money and everything that Kendra offers and shares and supports. It really allows us to live our life to the fullest, enjoy that play money, and just really have a wonderful life. So Kendra, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. You forgot to tell them that I'm a part of your group. It's
Oh,
over. It's over. But
yes.
I'm so glad to have been in the group because we need to learn how to use the extra money that we make.
Yes. So Kendra is referring to the Money Haven Academy. This was is the last month, the end of October, and
Sad.
it's Kendra said. Andrea's a little sad, and it may come back. I may come back around again, but now it's just time to focus on my one-to-one clients. And focus on my retreat. And when it's the right time for the membership, I'm going to bring it back around again because the idea is brilliant and it's like my passion in my heart. So yes, we'll bring it back around. But it was just time
Yes.
to pause it for this season. But I'm super excited that I can support business owners like Kendra in the program, to be able to bring wealth experts and other experts in areas that can help us manage our money, grow it, and make some more money. So, Kendra, talk to us about how you got into retreat planning, project management, all the things. I want to hear all of it.
All the things, right? So it's really easy. I'm a Jill of many trades. And the thing is, it's okay to be a Jill of many trades or Jill of all trades, but you got to be a master of at least one. So I'm a
Hmm.
master of some. I have a project management background in IT. So I got the IT piece and the project management piece. And the thing that I love most about project management is I get to manage people and other resources. So the people part is what really draws me in because I like to think of myself as an architect. I help people to take the ideas that are in their heads and get them into a blueprint and a plan that not only they can run with, but it's a big picture plan that other people can help them to make it a reality. So you're not alone. No man is an island for real. So what I help them do is really take their vision and then actually see it through to fruition. And that's what project management has been for me. I've been on like one side where I just help the end user in technology. I've been on the other side in the back where we just do code. And I realized I like to see the whole thing. So that's how I figured out where my values are, what I'm really good at. So, what I'm good at is logistics. And that logistics piece is to coordinate all of the people, the facilities, and the supplies. So I get to do it all. It's more like a juggling act, but if you do it well, if you do it right, then it looks like magic to all the other people. So my excitement is about the magic. How did I get there? Um, I've been doing a little bit of everything. So I started out in IT,
Mm-hmm.
actually working as a contractor for the government. And I realized I was doing all the work
Mm-hmm.
and my company was making all the money, but I was learning a lot, right? So
Yeah.
I was hired as a software engineer, but I was doing their network. So I was doing their Linux and their other portion of their network. I was doing the telephones. I was training. I was doing all of those things because I'm the Jill of all trades, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't getting paid for it, right? So
Right.
I decided that I'm going to go get another degree. I wanted to get a master's and a PhD because I thought that I wanted to teach in higher ed. So I went to work for higher ed and The whole thing for me to go there was to get a free degree.
Mm.
No more student loans because I like to travel and I like shoes. I used to measure everything in shoes. How many shoes can I buy instead of wasting this, right? And then it's just parlayed into how many vacations can I afford with the extra money that I make. So I didn't want another student loan. So I went
Mhm.
there to get my master's degree, which I did, but the lifestyle was so good. I worked a Monday through Friday,
Mhm.
8 to 4, maybe 9 to 5. And I had weekends and holidays off. And I had already told myself that I wanted to have weekends and holidays off. And at the end of the day, it's really about your lifestyle.
Yep.
How can I live a life that I won't look back and say shoulda, coulda, woulda for?
Mhm. Mm.
And so that's why I went into higher ed. I'm a single mom. I've been a mom as long as I've been an adult. And really, I mean, literally, I had him went to college. He went to college, then he went to kindergarten. Right. So it's just me and him. And I was thinking, I have a mortgage to pay and I have things that I want to do. But at the end of the day, I wanted to have him to have a good life.
Mm.
And I wanted to visit him in college, not in prison. So I also got a job Monday through Friday so that I didn't have to just ship them off everywhere and working nights and you're not sure what your children are doing. So I decided
Mm.
that I was going to be a mom and do this. But it turned out really well because not only did I get my master's degree, he has an undergraduate degree for free
Yes.
because I decided to go into higher ed. So people started asking me, how are you doing this? I bought my first house at 27. I wasn't making a lot of money, but I just was like, okay, watching everyone else going, I'd like to do this because you don't have to make all the mistakes yourself, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
You can literally watch other people and decide, I'd like to live a life like that. Or no, I never want to live like they're living. So the people that I saw doing what I wanted to do, I asked them, what are you doing?
Mhm.
And I determined by what their answer was, did I want to do that same thing?
Right.
Because just because life looks good for someone doesn't mean it's good for you, right? So
Mhm.
if I say, Nashaya, how did you start your business? And then I realized I don't want to work that hard, then I'm just going to be happy for you.
Right.
But if I find that everything that you did, I really want it and I want to work that hard and I want to work with you, then you can become my example. So I'm never jealous of people. My thing is, what did you do to get it? And then I decide if that is the price that I'm willing to pay to get that as well. So I've done a lot of things. I've made a lot of mistakes in the process, but at the end, I've gotten what I wanted and I was able to learn some lessons. So, what did I start doing after that? Just teaching what I know.
Love it.
So, I started out knees knocking, voice quivering, teaching people about technology. And then I took that technology and all the project management after I got certified in project management. I went to the community college and became an adjunct instructor. And
Mm.
it was always about which trip do I want to go on. I never used my salary for extras. I always just got my hustle on. So if you've heard me on any of my broadcasts or on my live stream saying that your side hustle is serious business, it really is, because
Mhm.
it's a way for you to figure out what you want to do next.
Yep. I love that. You just dropped so many gems. Like I wanted to stop you, but I didn't want to stop
Please
you.
stop me. I got the raps. I can talk.
No, I love it. I love it. So, all right. First, I want to go like go back a little bit and tap into what you talked about. Like when you talk, first of all, you mentioned how many shoes is this going to cost me? That's like one of those strategies that I offer to people when they're looking at their spending and they're trying to figure out what can I do to control my spending or become an empowered buyer. And I tell them, what's that thing that you really love? And how many of those things is it costing you because you went on a shopping spree and you know you wasn't ready for that shopping spree? So kudos to you for doing that on your own. Like, I love it. Y'all listen to Kendra because it's a strategy and it works. And then the other part is you talking about um, just getting very clear on the desires and the life that you want to live, and then basing your life around what you desire. And I think that's very important for people to think about, and get very clear on, because so many times, we can get caught up in the shiny object syndrome, or like you said, you see someone else's lifestyle and you're like, ooh, I want that, or I want to do that, and you kind of get distracted. It's easy to get distracted from what really matters to you. So knowing that, listen, my son is gonna not be in jail. I want to be a mom that can work 9 to 5. Like, that is really what's important, and really should be the thing that drives us. Yes, money is awesome, but at the same time, what else do you need, or what is that money for? There's almost like a purpose is needed, so that then we can be in alignment with where we're going. So I love that. Then the next part is talking about your actual leveraging of your skill set. Because that's the other thing, is sometimes people are like trying to be so out the box and be so different and say, oh, well, I got to do this thing, or I got to do this thing to make money. And it's like, and they're saying, oh, I need another certification. I need another degree. I need to invest in this thing before. And it's like, wait a minute, you've been doing this thing at your job for 20 years. You have more than enough experience to get paid, and get paid well, to do the things that you already know. So can you talk like a little bit about um like, how did you come to that place where you're like, I know that I can leverage these skills, and you felt confident enough to, kind of sell yourself to, get them to pay you for your skills?
So I think I was born with that. I
Mm,
can see gifts in other people.
mm,
And from a little girl, I did that. So my dad is a jack of all trades, but he does most things well.
mm,
So, like, he was the guy who did everybody's taxes. When I was younger, he did everybody's taxes. He was the barbecue guy. So if you had a barbecue, he was the one who came over and did that. He cut hair.
mm,
He learned how to cut hair as a young boy, cutting his brother's hair, because my grandma was a hairdresser, right? So, and that continued until he was like 75. So he was just cutting hair, but he never really wanted to make money out of it. He was the bartender for
mm,
everybody's wedding at the bar. He always had like a million things. So he knew how to make these drinks. He knew how to make his own barbecue sauce. He did all of these things. And I was like, let's sell it.
mm,
Start your business. Let's this. And he never really wanted to do that. And I
mm,
could see that in everybody. It was like, well, you're good at this and you're good at that. And I had friends. My friend, she is a stylist now, but for 7 years, she thought she should be an accountant. I'm like, girl, you've been doing our hair all through college. We've shown up at salons. She went to get her eyebrows done, and the man said, girl, who does your hair? I'm just with her, right? And I said, she does, and it's a weave. And she's like, you're not supposed to tell people. I said, no, but this is so good. It's a weave. And the guy was like, I know a weave when I see one. I said, well, put your hands in here. He
mhm,
offered her a job right there on the spot, but still took her 7 years to come up there. So I kind of been doing it for everybody else.
mhm,
And I'm really talented. I sew, I'm crafty. But that's not where I should be making my money, because my patience is not there.
yep.
But really, if you need something planned, everybody comes to me. I've planned my wedding. I've planned other people's wedding. Whatever it is, I planned it. I got all the moving pieces. I put it all together. And because I was really good at project management and I'd learned to teach technology, I just went to the community college
Mm,
as an independent contractor, became an adjunct instructor. From there, that led to other people calling me, asking me to teach for their corporations. So I would just take my either lunch break or a day off, and I'd
mhm,
go teach. But it was really to figure out what I wanted to do, and what I was good at, because I had a 9 to 5. So there was no need for me to give everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I got a chance to figure out what I like and what I don't like,
Yes.
what makes me tick, what makes
Mm.
my heart sing.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, that's what life is about.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I teach other people is to figure out the lifestyle that they want to live. So, my lifestyle was shoes and travel, right?
Yeah.
So, and then the thing is, what kind of legacy do you want to leave? And people, when they think of legacy, they always think about money. I'm starting a business because this is a legacy. I have a house because it's a legacy. But
Mm-hmm.
legacy is simply the story of how you've lived. So
Mm.
everyone has a legacy. And up until this point, everybody who's living and breathing has a legacy already. The question is, what do you want your legacy to be? I hope you want your legacy to be what you dream your lifestyle is. So, a lifestyle is simply the way that you live,
Mm-hmm.
nothing else.
Love it.
And the legacy is what tells the story
Mm.
of how you live, that way that you live. That legacy tells a story. So I want my legacy to shout that I do everything, that I did everything at the intersection of community, culture, and technology.
Love it.
The community thing that includes love, that includes your community for real, that includes the people that you create your tribe with. The culture is not just my culture. I want to respect all cultures, which travel helps me to do, right? So I go other
Mhm.
places, helps me to see things from a different point of view. And technology, um, the way that people think of it is it drives everything, but technology should only be a tool that
Yeah.
you use to make your life more effective and more efficient.
Love
And
that.
so I do everything in that light. And my values are really about love, giving, and living life to the fullest.
Mm.
Not being in a part of the regret club, that shoulda, coulda, woulda club. So what I see is, and the last thing is your livelihood. Many people let their livelihood dictate what their lifestyle is going to be.
Ooh, say that again.
Many people let their livelihood dictate what their lifestyle is going to be.
Mm.
And when you do that, now you've let your livelihood and your circumstances dictate what your legacy will be. And
So,
go ahead.
so how, oh, this is a good one. So, how do people who are in that space make that shift in to where they no longer they no longer limit themselves to their livelihood and actually tap into that the lifestyle that they desire?
First of all, you got to give yourself permission to
Mm.
say what you really want in life. Give yourself permission to be a beginner.
Mm.
Shout out to Lauren. I had a little conversation with her. And, she was like telling me, because I am a perfectionist. So I have to tell myself all the time, you're a beginner in certain areas. If you're going to make a pivot, if you're going to do something new, if you're going to try something new, you have to give yourself permission to be a beginner,
Mm.
because you're going after what you want. So you have to give yourself permission to say what you want, give yourself permission to go after it, and give yourself permission to be a beginner, because everybody has to start there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once you know what you want, you can see the big picture, because I'm a big picture person, that vision thing. You see where you want to be. Now you can plan from the end and go back to the beginning. How do I get there?
Yep.
How do I get there? And the question is the job that I have now conducive for the lifestyle that I want?
Mm.
Was the job that I had conducive for the life that I have now? Absolutely. But I'm also one who prepares for the future. I live a prepared lifestyle. So that lifestyle of preparation means that if I want this in the future, I have to do this now.
Yes.
So what I want in the future includes having spending freedom
Mm.
in retirement.
Yes.
So I can stack all my money away in my 401k. I can make all my money and do nothing and wait until then and hope I live,
Mm.
right? Because life is short.
Yep.
So I can do that. Or I can find a balance where I can enjoy life now and do some things that will help me later. So when my job is over, I have a coaching business, I have a rental home, I have some things, and it hasn't been easy. There's
Mm-hmm.
been some times that I just want to throw in the towel. There's been some choices that I've made that I thought directions that I thought I wanted to go in, and I put out some real money,
Yeah.
and it's cost me some.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I feel like that I still stay present for the process. So those are some of my 5 keys to get there. So I told you to give yourself permission. But the first thing you need to do is start. Start
Mm.
now. The minute you have an inkling, start now. That's giving yourself the permission. Number 2 is to do it afraid, because the minute that you give yourself permission and you start, then fear comes.
Oh yeah.
And then what do you have to do? You can either give into the fear or you can press through it. And if you cross the bridge of fear, when you get to the other side, you're like, well, what took me so long? Why did I wait this long? And then number 3 is not to compare yourself
Mm.
to someone else's progress, to what they have. You don't know their story.
Right.
So when I compare myself to you, oh, Nishaya has an 800 credit score, right? But I don't know the story of how
Right.
you got there. I I can tell myself a story,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then that's lies we tell ourselves, because I'm pretending that I know how you got there, right?
Yep.
I know how fast you got there. I know I'm pretending that. So the third thing is just don't compare.
Mm-hmm.
Move forward. The fourth thing is to engage your support team, which is why I'm in your group, which is why I follow you, because I don't have all the answers. I
Yep.
have all the answers for logistics. I have a good idea what I should do with my money, but there's always a better way.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in many a class that you had no, oh, I need to talk to my financial advisor. Oh, I need to do these. So don't do it. Don't go alone. And then number 5 is to stay present for the process.
Ooh.
Because when you stay present, we're always so busy trying to get to the end, we miss the lessons in between.
Mm.
That's where you build the muscle. That's where you build the resilience. That is where you get some lessons that, oh, I'll never want to do this again. And it could be the bumper that you walk into that guides you into the path that you're really supposed to be on.
Yes.
Because if I told people I said I wanted to be a professor, so I came for a master's degree and a free PhD.
Mm-hmm.
But as I went through the process, I realized that it's not as freeing as I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
As a professor, you are required to be in your seat no matter what schedule they give you, September to December. So,
Mm.
what if a great trip pops up in November?
Okay.
I can't go.
Right.
What if a great trip pops up in January? I have so many teacher friends that say, where are you going next? Because you know I love to travel.
Yep.
Like, we're going to South Africa in March. Oh, I can't go. I'm going to Dubai and such. They can't go.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up in Dubai in the summertime
Right.
when it's 124 degrees. Yeah, you made it there, but you were off season.
You can't be outside.
You didn't enjoy it. But when I went, I had to put my jacket on at night. It was
Mm-hmm.
hot during the day. We had to put our jacket on. The flower garden was open simply because it was cool enough. It was warm to us, but it was cool enough for people to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So I that bumper was good because I probably would have pivoted out of that career anyway.
Yep.
So I still get to teach as an adjunct, but I teach in, continuing ed, which means I set my own times,
Mm.
6 weeks to 12 weeks. and I teach and I set my own costs. This is what I need to be paid. They usually pay it.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is staying present for the process. Sometimes you want to run away. My first time teaching a Microsoft SharePoint class, I
Mm-hmm.
tried to talk myself out of it. I knew it, but the little things in
Mm-hmm.
your head is going, you don't know that much. These people are already using it. You're just teaching the basics. And I went in there and blew it away. But I
Yeah.
had to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Afraid, I had to just keep going. And so I think the biggest problem that we have is we don't give ourselves permission. And then the second piece is we don't value our expertise.
Ooh,
Other people do, but
yes.
we don't, because you don't think you're good enough.
Or we think it's too simple. It's too simple. They won't pay me for this. Everybody
Anyone
knows
can do
this.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that was my father's issue.
Mm-hmm.
He was so good at so many things. He just felt like we don't need to charge. Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do. And so I think there are plenty of businesses that should be but aren't because we don't value our skill set.
Yep. Yep. And that's so you gave us your 5 points, which those were all like so awesome. What is like the number one thing, and maybe it's just what we talked about, but the people that you work with, do you primarily work with women or do you have a preference?
Yes, I mostly work with women who are trying to figure out what's next. You have an expertise, you are the Maya Angelou type. You do a little of everything
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to zero in on the one thing. That has been very hard for me. And I really don't make people zero in on the one thing because I focus on what do you want to do next
Mm,
and how can we build a plan from there. And then the thing is, we always want to give it away.
yeah.
But most people who come to me are in their late 30s to their mid 50s. And the question is, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
I like my job, but it's not going to give me the spending freedom that I need right now. It's not going to give me, I can wait till I get to the end and hope I have enough in my 401k. But what else can I do so that I can live this life that I want to live now?
Mm-hmm.
And so what we do is we work on what are you really good at?
Yep.
And just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
Yep.
Because if you're miserable, then it takes your lifestyle, right? Your
Yep.
lifestyle is right back at I'm just doing it for the money. So
Mm-hmm.
now you're stuffing little pieces of your life around your work schedule, doing something that you don't like.
Yep.
So the whole thing is, what can you do that brings you joy?
Mm-hmm.
What can you do that will bring you extra income and it doesn't feel like work? And most of us that work with me are, what am I going to do next when this job is done? So I usually have two types of women. It's the woman who is looking to create extra income
Mm-hmm.
that supplements their salary, and then it becomes a business after they retire.
Yep.
And the other woman who is just looking for the exit. They've had enough over here, or they've been released to their destiny. I don't say fire because most of them that I talk to who have been released to their destiny knew they should have quit a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they just got the little nudge. God kicked them out
Yep.
and they're doing well. And they decided, well, since I'm here, I'm not going back. And they usually use their time of unemployment when they can collect to go through the program and start their business.
Mm, I love that.
So for me, as I've been going through, I've always taught what I knew. I
Mm-hmm.
teach technology, I teach project management, but I love to do events. but I don't like the big ones. I really like transformative events.
Mm.
And that's how I've moved myself over into retreat planning because I still get to coach.
Yeah.
I still get to show people how to plan all the logistics in such a way for their retreats that they win the hearts and trust of their participants
I love that.
because it feels like magic. Whenever I do a retreat, and how did I get into this? I was doing my own retreats, right?
Mm.
And I give people the opportunity to live from their future because these are women who have an idea and they want to walk away with a market ready product or service that they know people will want because
Mhm.
they show up with this idea and they go into the entrepreneurial test kitchen. They give their pitch. We tell them if it's hot or not. And if it's hot, we help them make it hotter. If it's not, then we help them make it hot. So they know that they have something that people want.
Mhm.
And we just show them how to do it. This is before you get your LLC. This is before you put your shingle out. This is all before because what I've learned, and I did it too, I ran out and I did this, and I'm in business
Mhm.
and I never had it vetted. I
Yeah.
never had people walk me through it. I wasted time, I wasted money and
Mhm.
energy. But I believe that we don't give ourselves enough time. We're always helping everybody else. You got your cape on, you're swooping in to help people at the job, you're swooping in to help everybody in your community and in your household. But when
Mhm.
did you take time to focus on you?
Yes.
So I felt like I needed to create something that would allow them to focus on themselves
Mhm.
and their business that they have in their head and
Mhm.
actually bring it to fruition. But they get these 4 days just to do that. But the biggest part is the luxury, which is self care.
Mhm.
I do top shelf everything, so it's luxury. But not only that, they are in a group of like minded women,
Mhm.
and they come out with concrete ideas with a plan that they can use. And so everybody's like, "Oh, that looks so good. We want to go to your retreat." So I
Mhm.
still do those, but I know retreat planning is my thing.
Yeah.
It's my jam. When I go to retreats, and when I tell you I show up at retreats, they're really nice retreats, right?
Mhm.
Their luxury, and I'm already thinking about, oh, I would do this a different way. I would make this better. I'm always the person who wants to the continuous improvement part of project management. That's
Mm.
me. I've gone in people's houses and changed them around since I was a little girl. So this I'm gonna tell you this story. I'm going off on a little tangent,
It's
but
okay.
my aunt had this house, right? My great aunt.
Okay.
And I remember going to her house and it was just plain. She had this magnificent house, but she just had plain furniture. And when I came in the door, like you would go upstairs to the bedrooms and the living room was here. I was like, if this was my house, I would do this. And I'm not telling anybody, I'm just talking to myself. I'm probably
Yeah.
like 10. I ended up living the house that I told you I bought at 27. I
Mhm.
ended up buying a house around the corner from her. And I did all the stuff that I dreamed about at 10, 17 years later, including turning the bathroom around because they were all cookie cutter houses. And the house, the bathroom just didn't have enough room. I turned it around and then people would come and visit and then they turn their bathrooms around. So I'm always looking like this is nice, but how can we make it better?
Mm.
And oh, it would be nice if they did this instead of that, or on top of that, or made it better. And so literally I've created my own standard of luxury and I've created some lux languages that people can figure out what their lux language is
Mhm.
and the lux language of their clients. So not only do I do retreats for my clients, but I have clients who are experts, and this is for men and women. They're coaches, consultants, experts who want to add more revenue into their business with a
Mm.
retreat.
Love that.
So I teach all of my project management skills, all of the things that you need to know to keep the ship afloat and make the experience that they need to have a transformative impartation of whatever it is you teach, whatever the promise you said that they're going to come away with. Not only do they get that information, but the experience is such that they experience luxury and a destination that's probably on their bucket list. So I do luxury destination retreats.
I love that. Do you find that because I'm gonna be honest with you, I could go to your retreat and you can teach me all the things, but I'm gonna be like, all right, Kendra, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna hire you. Like,
Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I do the retreats, but I also plan retreats for you. So I do done with you, done for you, or you can do DIY.
got it.
So there are plenty of folks like you don't need to come to a retreat. You just need somebody to step in so that you can show up. And so if you want done for you, that is for the expert who just wants to show up.
Mhm. Love it.
You show up excited, not exhausted, and you do your thing and we handle the rest. Now, will things go wrong? Absolutely, they will go wrong. But will your clients know about it? Absolutely not. I call it like the cable back in the day when everybody had cable,
Mhm.
and for electricity. We don't know what goes on at the plant.
Right.
We don't know how many times they had to switch the way that they deliver the service. As long as I hit the switch and the light comes on,
Mhm.
that's what I want.
Right.
And the minute that doesn't happen, what do? We all call the company. We're online. How long is it going to be down? And, but we never saw all of the times that they averted all
Mhm.
of those issues. So your team, the people that you hire, should be well equipped to avert anything that's going on.
Yep.
And it shouldn't be your job to figure out when the delivery is coming. Well, something's not happening over here. So you have to stop what you're doing to go do that. Because now your clients don't feel like they're number one.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I want your participants to feel like you thought of everything because you did.
Yep.
That's the best compliment I get. You know, they call right before they're going to leave, the people who come to my retreat. And I thought about this, how many, oh, we took care of that too. You thought of everything. Yes, it's my job to think of
Mhm.
everything. So you don't have to think of anything
Yep.
except what you're focused on.
Mhm.
So you want it to be so that because a retreat is really a time to pull away, to cut yourself off from every distraction so
Yes.
that you can focus on your one outcome that
Mhm.
you've come for. So whether you're the host, you're focused on one outcome, giving your participants the transformation that you promised, right?
Yep.
And if you're a participant, you're focused on the outcome, getting that transformation. I shouldn't have to worry about, well, what happened to the food and how am I going to get to the place? And you shouldn't have to worry about any of those things
Mhm.
because I believe that luxury is self-care
Yes.
and travel is transformative all in itself. And when you put those together with the right people handling it, then you as a host can show up. And so that I know that is my gift.
Mhm.
I've been planning family reunions, and when I say family reunion, I know people think barbecue and t-shirt. That's not the way my family does it. You will have a t-shirt, and there may be a barbecue, but we are going to hotels. There's no motel. We're going to a hotel. There is a banquet. They want real food. They don't,
Mhm.
they don't want auntie cooking the fish. Now that's cool at home.
Right.
And when we get there, we have paid our money and we expect the best. And whoever's hosting is really the host. They're actually doing all the work.
Yeah.
And it is a lot of work. So whoever hosts, they don't really have a good time.
Mhm. Because they're
And
paid.
so they're working.
Mhm.
And you know how family is. They
Yeah.
will, your family members will test you and come to you as if you are getting paid for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like to give everybody a little test, and I've been teaching them how to host. I
Mm-hmm.
wrote a book for our family. So it's in three parts. The first part is the history of our family. The second part is the history of the organization that they put together back in the 70s.
Nice.
And the third part is how do you host a reunion of your own? And so retreats are sort of like reunions, just smaller,
Yep.
and it's still a focus.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do it all the time.
Yep.
And so if anybody's thinking about what are you good at, think about those things that you do all the time
Mm-hmm.
that you don't charge people for.
Ugh.
I can plan a reunion with my eyes closed. And the retreat is no different. It's just higher luxury
Yes.
and a better destination.
And we love a good destination.
Yes, we do. So why not make it a bucket list of yours?
Yep.
Especially if you're just going to show up, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you're going to show up and manifest your magnificence, right?
Yep.
And they're going to be like, oh, Nishaya, this was wonderful, right? If you're just going to do that, why not make it in a place that you want to go?
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody's doing all the work, you too can enjoy it.
Yep.
Whereas if you're a host, a traditional host, whether it's a reunion or a retreat, you're not going to enjoy it. Everybody else enjoys, but you don't.
Mm-mm.
And it's time to make that change. So trust me, when I host, I bring my team and I still enjoy it. And when I am the planner, whether, the concierge, I just did Cassandra Austin McDonald's retreat in Treasure Island, Florida.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was really good, so she was able to focus on her people.
Love it.
And I was able to make new contacts and get new things. And so I got a few more things up my sleeve. And the other thing that I do is we have a lot of women who are really talented and they're trying to figure out what's next for them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you fit into some of the partnerships that I need, then I become not only do you start out as, being coached by me, but you could be employed by me at some point because we allow the people who come through the program the first opportunity, and we use professionals. So you're not trying it out when you
Mm-hmm.
do retreats. You're trying it out at the entrepreneurial test kitchen. And then you get better and then we use you. So that's the thing about starting. And so I just believe that lifestyle, legacy, and livelihood are truly connected, and it needs to be in that order.
Mm-hmm.
And because people use livelihood first, that's why we're miserable.
Yep.
That's why we don't do what we were born to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because the moment that you start pursuing your purpose and doing it in excellence with a passion
Yep.
for life, then you open the door for other people. Because the minute you answer your call, the
Mm-hmm.
call that's on your life,
Mm-hmm.
you're opening the door so that someone else can answer their call. And the world is a better place because you decided to be your unique, authentic self and do what you were placed here to do so that you can make the world better. Each time we copy somebody and we do what other people are doing, we already have those things. And that's why it's not working for them. And I've been there too.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there,
Yep.
I've let other people call me.
Yep.
This is what you should do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I wasted time and money.
Yep.
But I didn't waste the lesson. Stay present for the process. So there's things. So you don't have to do that. But there is plenty of examples of what you should be doing. Just figure out what lights you up. And if you have no idea what lights you up, that means you're sitting at home and you're not doing anything. You gotta get out there and try something. And
Yep.
some of the stuff you're gonna suck at, right? So you're gonna go out there and you're gonna fall down. You're like, well, that's not for me. That's not something that I want to do.
Yep.
But there's going to be some things that you do and you'll feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Like speaking is also my thing, but I'm an encourager. So I'm not the kind that will just speak anywhere. But if someone needs encouragement, I tell my story.
Mm-hmm.
And so my story starts with single motherhood and finding my own way and doing some things and leaning on people and asking questions and trying new things.
Yes. But you know, we need, you know, those our stories are so powerful. So, you know, it's people, you know, when people need to hear that story, because that's going to be the thing that motivates them to get off the couch and, you know.
Yes.
So I think that's so important that, you know, and awesome that you do that, because sometimes that's the one
Yes.
thing that people need so that they can take that next step.
Mhm. And you think about it, like you said, you're teaching people how to use their play money, right? But
Hmm.
how do you get the play money
Right.
if you're afraid to step out from
Right.
that position that you're in?
Hmm.
There's a whole lot of positions that need to be filled, and you know that you're qualified for them, but you're scared.
Yep.
But you're not sure if you'll make it. Guess what? If you don't make it, there'll be another job.
There's plenty.
Yes. But if you're prompted to do something,
Hmm.
it's probably because that's God pushing you.
Hmm.
And then he'll send some other people. So some people, I remember being in position, people said, why didn't you apply for that job? And I was thinking, well, I don't think I'm ready for that. And I really don't want to do this. And I think about how much further I could be along had I done it,
Hmm.
had I gotten a mentor, had I, just stepped out. And I was stepping out in so many areas. I don't get a lot of, you're not doing enough,
Hmm.
but there was plenty that I did let go by when I should have just tried it.
Hmm.
What's the worst that can happen? They say no.
Right. Right. But you
But
know,
when you have that extra money, the
hmm,
whole thing is the extra money. You don't worship the money. The money is supposed to magnify who you are
right.
and what you do.
Right.
And so when you just step out, you never know who's watching. There's
Hmm.
somebody watching
Always.
that you are inspiring just by being who you are.
Hmm.
And then you decide, I'm going to take this route and I'm going to make a little more money. But the money is really for you to live the lifestyle.
Yes. Yes, it is.
It is.
Awesome.
It's for you to live the lifestyle. And so I don't know. And I think because I'm 53 now
Hmm.
and my mother was 53 when she passed away.
Hmm.
And she was always waiting for my dad to get it together. Come on, let's go. So she finally left him and went to Hawaii without him. It was supposed to be she and my dad and my aunt, which is my dad's sister.
Hmm.
And they kept saying, come on. And last minute, he decided he had to pay bills. And so my other aunt went with them. They had a great time. And they left me, it was just me and my dad. And I'm like, I want to go to Hawaii. You shouldn't. They were like, you have to go to school, whatever. And so he never went to Hawaii, but she did. And I'm glad she did.
Hmm.
And so now, because 53, she was gone.
Right.
Life is short, no matter how long you live. So I'm watching my dad now. He's 91.
Oh.
He got a second chance. After my mother passed, he got some insurance money because she had insurance,
Hmm.
right? Paid off his house. And then he was able to do stuff. And once he got a girlfriend, they started doing things. And I was little, like, you didn't go out with my mom. What's the problem? But someone explained it to me. Perhaps he understands now that life is short.
Hmm.
And once I heard that, I was like, good. So now I watched him his second half. He lived it up.
Love
But
it.
I don't want to see people wait because you don't know how long you have to live. And then you see these people. I remember being younger and I loved cars, right? So I would see these Corvettes and all of these foreign cars that were beautiful. And the man inside would always be old.
Hmm.
And I said, well, why is this old man in a sports car? They're like, because they are the ones who could afford it.
Yep.
And I decided that I wouldn't wait till I be old to afford what I want.
Hmm.
But I also see people now, I've been watching retirees since I was probably like 35.
Uh,
Been watching retirees going. There are many types of retirees. They're the kind that didn't prepare and they don't have enough money.
mm-hmm,
There are the kind who give all their money to other people because
mm-hmm.
they're trying to save them. And then there's the people who get to enjoy their money, share some, and they enjoy their life
Yep.
before. That's the kind of person that I want to be.
Same here.
And if you make a mistake, you still have a little more, right?
Yep.
So it's not the end all to be all. You're like, oh, I could have really used that 20,000 in a better way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not life ending.
Right.
It's a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just feel like if you just use your talents
Mm-hmm. Yes.
to
And
create more income
mm-hmm.
and more spending freedom and more saving freedom, because you got to save some too, right?
Yep.
You got to live like there's no tomorrow and as if there is a tomorrow, right?
Right. Balance it.
And that's where you come in.
Yeah.
That's where you come in and teach us things that we may not have thought
Yeah.
about, because you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm. And I love that you said that because I remember talking to somebody, it was a couple of years ago, and whatever I was talking about, I was like, how do they not know that? And I don't even know that I called them stupid, but whatever it was, I'm like, and the person that I was talking to, he's like, my mom told me that um, you don't know what you don't know. So, project management, logistics, all these things. That stuff, I know what you're talking about. I know very little of certain things, but I don't know that stuff.
Right.
So if you start talking about something that you're an expert in, I have no idea. And then someone else might say, "Oh, you're dumb. Like, how do you not know that?" And it's like, because you just don't know what you don't know. You're not exposed to it. If it's not something that you read about or studied, whatever it may be, you just don't know. So it's very important that, we have people around us who are smarter than us, who are doing things that maybe we desire to do, but we're a little afraid to do. And we just tap into, you know, their expertise. Also, we kind of just watch. You mentioned that, just watching them and just seeing how they're moving. And then that gives us some of that courage that we need to like step out and just be a little brave, even though it is always scary. so,
Scary.
um, so yeah, you're absolutely right. Um, with everything, like you just dropped so many gems in here. Like I'm gonna send this to you so that you can cut this up and use like reels and make
Thank
reels
you.
and stuff. Because there was so much value in here, and I really hope that people watch the whole thing because it was just all throughout. But tell them how they can connect with you, what you're offering, like talk about that so that people can get in touch with you. Because I really want, what you're doing is just so amazing.
Okay, so if you want to follow me, you can just go to kendraenewman.com. I have to put the E in there. So kendraenewman.com, you can get onto the mailing list. You can learn about the retreat that I am hosting for retreat hosts. So it is for experts who want to host their first luxury destination retreat. We're doing that May the 22nd through the 26th in Costa Rica. That is for experts. You can also use that same website to work with me. So if you want done for you, done with you, or you're just going to do the DIY, but you want to work with me when you have questions, we can work that way as well. Always go to just kendraenewman.com, click the link, join join the mailing list, and you can also contact me there. Um, the other thing that I do is the coaching for the women who are figuring out what is next. And you can just go to that website as well if you want to be coached one-on-one by me. And so we take that idea that's in your head and we create a blueprint and a plan of action. And so I teach everyone who is willing to learn all of the logistical pieces that you need to have an epic retreat. And Those same logistical practices are what we use for you to figure out what's next for you. So it's all about the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
People usually sell one thing. What I'm really offering is an opportunity for you to live the life that you dreamed about, because it's possible when you have a real plan.
Yes.
And then you can leave the legacy that you want to leave, and you create a livelihood that will fund the lifestyle. So if you're already an expert and you have a business, then you want to add retreats as another stream of income
Mm-hmm.
in your business. And it's easy. You don't have to do anything except wrap your expertise up into a retreat. So you're not trying to create another program. You don't do a, what do you do naturally?
Mm-hmm.
What are you already making money at? And then you wrap it up into a retreat. But the one thing that they want to do is get the logistics right, because there's only one of two things that's going to happen. Either your participants are going to rave about what you did, or they're going to rage about what you did. How many
Mm-mm.
times have you gone to something and they promised all of these things and it was a hot mess?
Hot mess.
And once it's a hot mess, there's your reputation that you spent all this time building.
Yep.
Do it right. You have to do the retreat right, because people are spending their money,
Mm-hmm.
and you want them to feel like you thought of everything, because you did, because you took time to put the logistics in place. And as Nishaya said, you don't have to do it yourself. I can do it for you, and then you can just show up and be the person who they came to see. But it's your name on it. It will help you to boost your revenue, and all you did was wrap your expertise up into a retreat.
Love
I can
it.
go on forever, but that's it.
Y'all check her out. Go on there, book those consults, whatever you need to do. Follow her, message her. I've had the honor of, like I mentioned in the beginning, working with Kendra in my membership. We were also in a coaching community together. And she's the bomb. Like, she's just dope. So I'm co-signing on Kendra and her expertise. So if you're looking for my word as just go do it. So yes, thank you so much for your time, Kendra. And this was, like I said, so many gems were dropped in here. I'm going to send you this so you can chop it up and do what you want to do with it, because this was really helpful. Because I think that, there's so many people that are working that 9 to 5 and they're just wondering like what else is out there for them. And I loved how you talked about you don't have to leave your 9 to 5 so that you can then be that successful business owner. You can do both. And I'm a big advocate for that. I still have my 9 to 5 and I run my business. And people are always like, do you still work? And I'm like, I'm giving the illusion that no, I don't. But yes, I do. Like, I do. And I love it because it allows us to have that income to cover the necessities and some extras. But then we also have this on the side that can also let us live that lifestyle instead of just settling for the livelihood. So
And give you a choice.
yes.
It makes it easier to go to work when you have some other stream of income.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually not easier to go to work, and most people feel like, oh, now I can quit. But when you're doing what you love over there, most of this other stuff, it just doesn't matter. You can go in and do your job
Yep.
in a place that you love, make sure it's an environment that you love,
Mm-hmm.
and have your other stream of income. And then when you decide that you're ready to transition out, you just go.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, check her out. Thank you so much, Kendra, for joining me on this Friday evening. So yes, thank you, thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you.
You're welcome. And we're gonna close out, y'all. I'll see y'all next week, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for more money, mindset, and lifestyle. Later.
Bye.